So in this video, I'm going to detail out why I'm not going to quit Genshin because I'm going to make the comparison between HSR here because in my last video, I said a lot of the HSR content creators, they just can't stop talking about Genshin, right? But here I'm going to make the comparison because I think it's valid. And both of these games, they're super hyper casual games, okay? And so I know I'm going to get cooked for this because a lot of people just like the meta now is hate Genshin. Genshin sucks, hate it, hate it, hate it. And you just can't say anything realistic about the game. So anyways, let's go into the first reason. So because both of the games are casual games, I think Genshin is just a better casual game. And reason for that is because you actually control your characters while you're doing the content. And auto battling, I don't know when auto battling became like this new thing that people praise, like not actually playing the game. And most of the content in HSR is you just auto battle, right? So yeah, the content isn't difficult, but the content's not difficult in either game, right? So at least in Genshin, I can run around and like do bullshit on the world map if I want to. I can like jump into the abyss and just do bullshit. And the game is it's just casual. The mini games or whatever, but like when I first played Genshin, it was just a casual game. Like I knew what I was getting into. I stopped playing it because I was doing hardcore raids in MMOs and I just wanted a casual game to take a break. So I was like, oh, okay, Genshin's releasing. I played it and at first I was a little upset that it didn't turn into like an end game grind game. But I realized it's just a casual game. I can play it whenever I want. And it's like my collection game. Like I collect the achievements. Just collect all the shit on the map and whatever. And it's fine. I don't need two games that are casual games. Like I don't need to play HSR. It's already a casual game when I already had Genshin as a casual game. Like if I'm going to play another game, I'll play a game that isn't casual or it's like a single player game with better gameplay and story and higher production value anyways. Why would I need to play another gacha game like HSR where I'm logging in, I'm forced to do dailies. Like I'm just constantly having to keep up with the FOMO. If I miss an event, I'm already doing that in Genshin. So why would I want to do that in HSR? I'm not going to quit Genshin to play HSR when I was already like invested. Yeah, investment's a thing, but that's the thing, man. Like I'm not going to, it's just a casual game. Like there's no reason to like all of a sudden just quit because I'm going to play a different casual game. Who cares? Because I'm going to get 10 more wishes or whatever. That doesn't make any sense. Like it's pointless. Okay, so the characters and the story are better as my second reason. So I played HSR. The Bellabog story was pretty good. But when they came to the Lao Fu or whatever it's called, it just really took a downturn. And it's probably the worst story I've ever seen between Genshin and HSR. Inazuma was pretty bad. Look, Inazuma was pretty bad. There was a quest with Paimon. I think it's We Will Be Reunited, where Paimon really shits the bed as a character. And I understand the hate against Paimon or whatever, but compared to the Lao Fu in HSR, the story was just garbage. Like, it was just bad. And, like, every character was uninteresting. I don't understand, like, the Tingyun death scene. Like, why did characters care about that? Like, it wasn't shocking at all. Like, we didn't even know that character. Like, Tingyun was just, like, is a nothing burger character. Like, she's of no consequence to anybody. And, like, she dies, apparently, but she's not actually dead. And then the new story in HSR, the Penacony story, someone dies in a dream, so they're not actually dead. Like there's no emotional reaction because they're not actually dead. Like it's just a bait. It's a bait scene. Like I said, the character of Elio is a plot device where he's just it's like he writes the script, and that's a whole can of worms where instead of characters acting out of agency, like it's just Elio writing the script, right? And it, I'm going to go into more detail on that because that's like a whole can of worms. But in Genshin, like I was saying, the anime tropes between the two games, yeah, they both have, the characters have tropes, but in Genshin, they actually act like people. And when they interact with each other, they actually act like characters and not like plot devices. Like they'll talk about like family problems, and yeah, that's kind of boring, but it's realistic to an extent where in fiction, you're supposed to have relatability to some extent, which is another reason why like a lot of these science fiction or these stories nowadays are just terrible because the characters, they just talk about like random bullshit that doesn't make any sense, and they're not relatable as characters. But in Genshin, the characters are relatable. Like there's family problems. The reason why the characters get their vision is because they go through trials and tribulations as people, right? And in HSR, it was just like, I remember Gacha Smack was talking about the scene between Dr. Ratio and Screwlum, and how like it was some kind of like mind-blowing deep scene. And like I played that scene, and I played that character quest or whatever, and it was just nothing. Like it was just Dr. Ratio saying to Screwlum, people are stupid and I'm going to make them smart. That was basically the entire depth of the conversation. And there's nothing behind it. It was just him falling back on his trope as a character, right? There was nothing deep about that scene. So I don't understand why people are saying that HSR has like this mind-blowing story. Like Belobog was okay. I mean, Cocolia was a villain without any agency. So I don't know why people are like, she was just mind controlled by the Stellaron. Like there's nothing really exciting there. I mean, the character interactions, at least there was character interaction in Belobog with like Serval and Japard, and like you could tell that they're actually like siblings and they have issues and stuff like that. But everything else is just like random anime bullshit with them being trope type characters, and it didn't make any sense. And it's not as good as people are saying, man. Like some of the music in HSR is great, but the music in Genshin is just better, man. Like I don't know what to say. Like overall, there's better ambient music. I personally prefer orchestrated classical music and stuff like that. So we'll go on to the next point, which is the production values of Genshin are still very high. And there's this sentiment going around that like Genshin is just like a cash cow game, and they use Genshin to fund their other projects. And you know, whatever Dawei thinks or the CEOs there, I think there's a lot of saltiness because their new team, their quote unquote new team at Hoyoverse, made this like worldwide sensation game, and they didn't. They were working on Hawkeye Impact 3rd for like years and years and years, and it didn't become this like worldwide success that Genshin did. So a lot of people have this narrative like, well, Genshin's just the cash cow, and their dev team is lazy, and they don't put any effort into making the game. But I'm sorry to tell you, but that's just not true. And one of the reasons is because, like, I mean, from firsthand experience, I've been playing the game since day one, and I've encountered 2 bugs, and the bugs were not game breaking at all. So, and they're fairly recent. One of the bugs I reported, they actually listened to the feedback and that I sent in, and the bug got fixed. It was like this. It was a bug in Fontaine where it's like a minor bug. Like you still like completed the puzzle, but it just showed up as like a visual bug. But they still fixed that. And the other bug was just recently where there's like this guy on the water, an NPC like floats on the water randomly. But if you teleport away and teleport back, it's just, there's no like game breaking bugs in the game. They get like the London Philharmonic Orchestra to like compose music for the game. Like they're spending loads of money on the game, man. And they push out region maps like at a consistent rate. Like that's hard to do. Like for game creation, that's difficult to do with that few bugs. So the narrative, the sentiment going around that like Genshin is just like this cash cow game. They put no effort into it. It's a load of baloney, basically. Like, I don't know why people are, like saying that. I mean, obviously I know why. It's because it's this HSR player narrative. Like, you got to shit on Genshin because you're not getting enough free shit, basically. And I will make a video like Genshin's problem. Yeah, they're not giving enough free shit. They should give more. But the thing is, the game still has a high production value. You don't have to get every single character. You can't get every character in HSR as free to play. You have to like save still. You have to skip some characters, okay? Unless you're like super lucky. But the thing is, in Genshin, production value is still high. I still prefer it as my casual game, and I'm still going to be playing it as a casual game. I have other games to play. I'm not going to fucking sit here and play 2 casual games just because HSR apparently has this like, it's like this godly game when it's not. Like, people are just so blinded by thinking that HSR is some kind of like holy grail game when it's almost the same as Genshin anyways, as far as the game time per patch is concerned. Anyways, so you can go ahead and roast me, cook me, call me a Genshin shill, claim that I'm a Genshin stan, and like all I do is like talk about Genshin Impact on Twitter and shit. I mean, do whatever you want, call me, proclaim anything you want, but the fact of the matter is both HSR and Genshin are very similar games. Like I said, the playtime per patch of each game, it's always going to be the same. Like, they cut back the Memory of Chaos. They took out a week, the bi-weekly cycle. Now it's on a 4-week cycle to push in pure fiction. If they cared about more game time in HSR, they wouldn't have done that. They would have kept pure fiction and Memory of Chaos on a 2-week cycle, but they won't. You know why? Because these gacha games, they're always meant to be casual games. They're always meant for people who work a 9 to 5 and then, well, in Asia, they're working more than 9 to 5. It's like 9 to 9. They're working 12-hour days. They don't have time. They don't have much time to game. So the playtime per patch is not going to be very high. Okay. And this always is the case with gacha games, because no matter what, you're going to have to cater to that player base that gives you money and has the money to spend, because these hardcore players that just want to spend infinite amounts of time on the game, they don't have jobs. Like, where's their money coming from, right? Their money is not coming from anywhere. They're not going to be spending money in the game. They just want to grind, and they want to grind to make their account like overpowered and just want to spend time and time and time. But the thing is, they're not putting money into the game. And gacha games will always be casual. I think Genshin's a better casual game. There's more like stupid bullshit you can pull off in the game. Like, auto battling on HSR, it's boring. Okay. Like, the character interactions for a turn based the character kits for a turn based combat game with like 2 abilities, and like auto attack is kind of pointless anyway, so you don't even use it, and it's just boring, man. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, and it's never going to change. The playtime, they're both the same. Like, I don't understand the cope. That's one thing I don't understand is like this cope where HSR players are saying like this game is just phenomenal when it's basically the same. It's a gacha game. It's never going to have the same amount of time put into you're not going to be able to play it infinitely. And yeah, I mean, ultimately, if you hate Genshin and you love HSR and like you're like protesting against Genshin and then playing HSR, Hoyo's still getting your money, man. Like, you may not be okay. Maybe they're still getting your analytics. You're still playing the game. You're still putting time into HSR. Like, they still have you as one of their players, right? So it doesn't matter. Like, you can boycott Genshin all you want, but nothing's gonna happen. Like, you're. So, anyways, go ahead, roast me, and yeah, peace out.